I'm Elizabeth, and I'm playing the Swan Queen in Swan Lake. Jan pulled me aside one day and kind of offered a couple questions like, are you still dancing a lot? Are you going to be around this summer? You know, the basic things. So obviously I said yes, I'm still dancing. I love to dance, and I'd love to come back for the summer, and I would love to do Swan Lake. Then, you know, kind of led me into, okay, so what do you think about Swan Queen? It was definitely a rush of emotions. It was kind of, at first I was like, wow, this is something I've wanted for a long time. It was like, well, yes, of course, I would love to do it. After kind of the excitement and a little bit of surprise too, I was not expecting it. It was like, okay, so what do I need to do? What do I need to start doing right now? I kind of started formulating this plan of like, all right, every day I'm gonna think about the acting. I'm gonna watch videos from Maine Ballet and then also take inspiration from probably somewhere on Instagram to see like all of the artistry that they bring to the table. What did Jan do when she was a Swan Queen? And kind of watch not only the solo moments but mostly the partner interactions. Started to think, all right, I need to do flautes. I need to start working on my flautes. It was really emotional. I didn't cry. I definitely got into my like, all right, this is what we gotta do. We're going to planning mode. Let's not get too crazy because it's gonna happen, but you know, there are lots of steps that need to go on before you feel like, all right, I'm a Swan Queen. My first rehearsal when I came back to Maine, it was like 3 days after I got back from Boston. I was like, we're going all in. It was super exciting. The rehearsal was led by Jan and Glenn Davis, who were the Swan Queen and Prince. So that was super special too, just to be able to kind of like draw from their knowledge and also experience, because they've done it before. It was me and Nathaniel, who plays Von Rothbart. It was a good first rehearsal. It went really well. Definitely starting with the Black Swan was, I mean, a little tougher because I've never acted evil, like, in ballet ever. I feel like I've only done, like, you know, either, like, kind of just happy or, you know, whatever. With Black Swan, it's very much more, like, jerky and kind of, like, you're just so evil. But you're kind of disguising it, but, like, not very well. So you just have to, like, be so evil and, like, so into the audience, which I've also never done before. So just, like, practicing, like, staring myself down in the mirror. Day one, I was like, okay, let's get into it. The last time we did Swan Lake, however many years ago, I was young, like young. And it was one of my first ballets that I'd actually performed in with Maine State Ballet, and I was in a little, like, girls at the party, and Nathaniel was the prince. And I gave him his little flower crown, and we kind of, like, ran around. And then I would go into the audience and watch Act 2, which is where all of, like, the Black Swan stuff happens, and all of, like, the dramatic, like, all right, pledging our love, we're saved. Spoiler alert. But I remember watching that as a younger kid and thinking, like, it moved me so much. Like, I cried. It moved me so much, and I was like, oh, man, one day, maybe one day. And so it's very full circle to not only be dancing the role, but also have Nathaniel to dance with me, not as the prince, but as Rothbart, and see him also be evil and, you know, cunning and all these things, and to be able to kind of like draw from his acting and his energy and kind of incorporate some of his movements and acting choices into my own acting so we can kind of match each other. So I think that was a really good way to start the process, and it's been really good ever since. What isn't challenging about this? Name one thing. Okay. I think one of the biggest challenges about being Odette and Odile has been obviously the dancing. It's notorious for being one of the hardest ballets, period. But I think one of the biggest challenges is going from being sweet, you know, Odette, who's just trapped and just so forlorn and, you know, devastated by her situation, and going like full 180 right to Odile, who's this like super evil character. I think finding the little moments, especially in between like the big steps and the big movements, finding those little moments and figuring out what am I, as Elizabeth, going to have Odette or Odile do in this like nanosecond that's gonna make honestly a huge difference in how the audience kind of sees and relates to this character. I'm partnering with Trevor. He is playing my prince. We've definitely been challenged, not so much in the partnering because we're, fairly coherent and good as partners, but in the little acting moments where you have to be just staring right at them like, I am just so sad. It's so hard to act like that when like you're just used to being like pals, just having fun together. But yeah, we did grow up together. I think one of the first years I ever danced, we were in class together, and we kind of just went up together ever since. It was definitely nice always to have someone that I was like, okay, I know you. Like it's just kind of sometimes overwhelming too to be shoved in with all these new people and then, but Trevor's here and it's all gonna be fun. We all know Trevor is just a really, really good dancer, really strong, awesome partner too, like very receptive to what I need and willing to like make alterations that are harder for him than they are for me to make sure that like it looks the way we want it to. So it's been really awesome. So I think Swan Queen is one of those roles that you kind of take with you throughout the rest of your life. It doesn't really like leave you, but it's something hopefully that you work so much towards that you find something in yourself, like maybe work ethic or just something like that. And I'm hoping to get that from this, to find some kind of like, okay, I did this super, super hard thing, I could do all sorts of other hard things in life. Finding the confidence to just not only do it but feel good about it and know like even if that pirouette didn't go well or I was kind of off my leg for whatever, like it's still gonna be good and it's still gonna look good and you just have to work hard, not just the dancing but the acting too. So I think that feeling of like I just need to find it in myself, know I have it in myself, give it to someone else, give it to the audience. They want to see it, they're here to see it, so I'm gonna give it.